Okay, table has positive stops. 0. 15, 22.5. You got 31.6, even a 31.6 on there, 45. See, 31, positive stop, 45. Really good saw. I like it. Hey gang, today we're going to be taking a look at this Hart 10-inch miter saw from Walmart. I'm going to tell you the things I liked about it, and I'm going to tell you things I really didn't like about it. And I used this thing hard for about a week. A customer supplied it for me, and I got to put it through the ringer. So without further ado, let's get going. This thing is lightweight, aluminum table, pretty much aluminum plastic. So this has positive stops on the table, right, left, out to 45 degrees. You have 0, I think it was 15. Let me check my notes here. Yeah, 0, 15, 22.5, 31.6, and 45, right and left. It will, the saw itself will tilt to the left 45 degrees. The adjustment or the knob for the tilt is in the back. It's a big beefy knob, really easy to get to. Now I like it more than I like the one on my Hitachi. And the specs on this thing is it's model HTMS33, obviously 120 volt, 14 amps, 5500 minimum RPM, and it's a 10-inch miter saw. It does come with a 24 tooth Hart blade, maximum of 6,000 RPMs, and then the other things that you will get with it are a blade wrench, a dust bag, work clamp, and operator's manual. It does tilt. Here's your tilt right here. 0 to 45. Nice strong spring right there. Now I got to use this when I was building a shed for the customer, and I used it for the legs on a gambrel roof, and I like equal legs on a gambrel, and I was cutting them at 22.5 degrees, and he just kind of piped up and he goes, "Wouldn't a miter saw be faster?" And I said, "Well, yeah, once we got it set up it would be." I said, "But mine's in storage since I'm moving and it's an hour away." He goes, "Well, I bought one a couple weeks ago from Walmart." And then I'm thinking, oh great, a miter saw from Walmart. Anyway, I held my my words. So he goes, "You're free to use it if you want." So he brought this thing out, and he goes, "I've only used it twice." Well, I don't know what he used to cut it. That thing looked like it just came out of the box. I couldn't find no sawdust on it, so I mean, it was immaculate. He must have just maybe cut some trim. I don't know what he cut on it. So I set it up. I checked the all the measurements, see how accurate the vertical and all that was on this blade, and it was pretty true to the fence and to the base. The only thing I had to make a small adjustment on the plumb. So it I mean, when I say like a 16th, it was just like maybe a 16th out of on plumb. Easy to fix. I got it and got it in plumb. Checked the square and everything else, and it was spot on. Now, my favorite feature by far of this saw was this little shadow guide, cut guide, that showed when you went to cut a piece of lumber. Some saws have that laser guide, and I've seen some of those that were accurate and some that were not so accurate. But this one here was, it's just a shadow, and that thing just impressed me how accurate it was. No matter which angle I cut on, that little guide was spot on. And so I really enjoyed that over the course of the week that I used it, and I had a great experience with it. I wish my Hitachi had that. Now, the two things that really grind my gears on this saw, one was at the top, there is a, before you can engage the blade, there's a little blue safety, and if you're grabbing with your right hand, it's off to the left. You have to depress, you have to push that little blue safety switch to the side, then pull your trigger to engage the blade. And at any time, if you release that little blue safety, the saw stops. And if you're using gloves, it is a pain in the butt. That was the most annoying thing to me. I think they could have put that safety in the front where it was a thumb, you engage it with your thumb like a lot of the other saws. But I did not enjoy that at all. It was the most negative thing of any of the features. The other thing that was just a minor annoyance was on my Hitachi, there's a carry handle down on the frame, right between the motor and the spring. You just reach down once you lock it down, and this has a lockdown feature as well. Like I said, I think it has all the features my Hitachi has except for that carry handle and the guide. But once you lock your arm down, my Hitachi has a handle there where you can just pick it up and go. This one did not. You have to figure out some way to carry it. Most people is going to carry it by the handle, there where the trigger is for the blade. So, you know, it makes it kind of unwieldy to carry. That was my two biggest things, negatives on this saw. So it weighs, I think, around 27, 28 pounds, and I think that's what my 10-inch Hitachi weighs. So that was the two things that really turned me off. So that pretty much sums it up for me, guys. If you're looking for a cheap saw, use around the house every once in a while, or something throwing back the truck, you're not going to be that worried about it if it walks off. This saw here, like I said, I used it fairly hard for this week, and it did well. It cut everything from treated 2x6s to kiln drying 2x4s, 1x2s. It did about everything. So if I was looking for an inexpensive miter saw, I would sure give this one a looking over, because I think you'll like it. Unless you just need a more professional saw, this little saw here will probably do all that you need. So anyway, hey, Donald for Blue Collar DIY. I'm out here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out the blog at bluecollardiy.com.